stop doing this. I need to stop doing that in my parenting journey. So that's my excitement. My excitement is that you are going to leave this place, you know, this with the decision to do better, with the decision to apply more wisdom, to apply caution where it's needed in your parenting. Okay, so 7 reasons your teenager is avoiding conversation with you and how to fix it before it is too late. That's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what we're going to be learning. I don't know how ready you are, but as for me, I am super charged. I am super charged to bring you this conversation. Now, why are we here? We're here because this is not just, another webinar. This is not just another parenting class. It's not just, let me just come and see what it is that they're even doing there. What this girl is even teaching. You're here because you've noticed something, or you're here because you don't want to get to that point where you will notice this thing. What is that? You don't want to get to that point where you notice a silence, where you notice a negative change in your teenager. Come on, raising a teenager is such an uphill task. It's not easy, when they're toddlers, they are all clingy, they are all around you, they are all, very lovely. But by the time they start getting to the teenage years and to the preteen years, changes start happening, right? You start realizing that a lot of things are changing, a lot of changes are happening, and sometimes it gets really bad. All right, so deep down, you're wondering, where did my child go? Why is it that my child, when they were toddlers, we used to rapport, we used to talk, we used to gist, and, they come back from school, you ask them one question, they answer 10, they tell you what happened, what did not happen, what they thought happened, everything put together. But by the time they start getting towards the teenage years, a gap starts existing. See, no matter how many times you listen to this, if you have not applied it, you've not heard it. The moment you start applying, that's the moment you know that, okay, I've learned it. So I want you to relax and listen and actually begin to ask yourself, in this my parenting journey, the way I'm parenting these children, am I being the parent I should be, or am I being the parent I think is practical, or the parent I think is easy to be? Now, what I want us to do in this webinar is to begin to look for ways to fix things up, to correct the anomalies, because there are so many normalized nonsense in our parenting, like so many things that we've normalized. We've normalized it because we think, it's okay now. It's okay now to hit the child. When she talks rubbish, just give her backhand. When she does nonsense in the public, shout at her, embarrass her before her friends, so that she will feel embarrassed enough to make change. Those things that we're doing are causing, disconnection between us and our teenagers. And we want to find a solution to that today. Now, there's a problem. The real problem is not just disobedience. The real problem is not just that our teenagers are developing and changes are going on, and of course puberty is setting in. There is that burst of energy. Sometimes there is that mood swings. I don't know how many of us here, as parents of teenagers, how many of us have had to deal with mood swings? All right. So we have all of that, all of those drama, all of the mommy-daughter fights and daddy-son fights. It just happens. But sometimes the problem is not actually those things. The problem is that there's a disconnection, because a fight can still happen. Of course, when I mean fight, I don't mean literal boxing, but I mean that disagreement, that friction can happen. However, the disconnection is what the real problem is, because 2 persons can do the same thing to you and you will give 2 different responses. For instance, someone can say, get out. One person can say, get out. Another person can say, get out. You would take one more seriously than the other. So it's the level. There's a connection, there's a kind of relationship you have with someone, and they can just say, I beg, get out. And you laugh over it. You just breeze across it, and you don't count it as anything. Yet another person can say exact same thing and you pick offense. Why? The reason is simple. With this person, you do not have any connection. And that's the same thing that happened with our teenagers if you do not have a connection with them. Some things you do out of love will be misinterpreted. They will look at it like, why is my mom on my case? Why is she? Why is she? Why is she? Why is she? Why is my dad? Why is he? So because there's no connection, even the correction you want to give comes off as preaching. Every time mommy is just talking. Every time, every little thing is preaching time. Every little thing is sermon. All of that. So it's not about your intention, but your action. When it comes to parenting, it's not about your intention. Your intentions are good. Your intentions are gorgeous. They are wonderful. Your intention is to raise a wholesome teenager. Your intention is to raise an exceptional teenager. Your intention is to raise, a goal-getter, a responsible teenager, a resilient child. That's your intention. But do you know that you can take an action that will produce an exact opposite of that intention? You can do something that makes it more difficult to raise an exceptional teenager. And that's actually why we are here. Let's look at, because I'm tired of looking into the street and I'm seeing teenagers that, do things that makes one wonder, where are their parents? If you do not act early, the relationship gap will widen. The reason we have, teenagers misbehaving on the streets of social media, on the streets of our society, is because there's a gap, there's a yearning, there's a desire that they have. There's something they want there's a need that has not been met. I posted a video recently and I was talking about, the needs that our teenagers have. They have some unmet need. So when you see a teenager misbehaving, there's an unmet need. There's an unmet need. And they can do anything to get your attention to that. They can do anything to get your attention. They can do anything to fill up that need. They can go anywhere, any length. And you don't want that to happen. The gap between you and your teenager can widen until you are raising a total stranger in your own house, until you don't even know who your teenager is again. Some of us here, you can swear that, oh, my teenager, she has never done that. But what you don't know is that they've gone farther than you can imagine. Just this week, someone sent me a video of her teenager, and she was very bitter. She was very bitter that her teenager was dancing on TikTok with waist bead and crop top, shaking her body with braless top. All right. And the first thing that came to my mind was not to judge the teenager. The first thing that occurred to my mind is, what's your relationship with this teenager? Because the seed you are sowing, whether please, who is writing on my board? Please don't write on my board. Thank you. Please stop writing on my board. Who is that? Joanita something. Please stop writing on our board so you don't mess things up. You have already. All right. So who is this webinar for? This webinar is for parents and guardians, parents of teenagers who feel that their teenager is pulling away. So you feel that your teenager is pulling away from you. You feel that your teenager is pulling away from the help that you're trying to give, the love that you're trying to give. Number two, parents that struggle to have real conversations. There are conversations that we need to have with our teenagers. And sometimes, unfortunately, we don't have those conversations for different reasons. Number one could be because we feel, oh, it's not yet time. For instance, your teenager is your child is already a teen. They're already 11, 12, 13. And you're saying, I don't want to talk to her about puberty, about period. I don't want to talk to her about sex education. She's still too early. It's still too early. She's still too young. But what you don't know is that she is hearing and learning those things from outside. Whether they're on social media or not, it doesn't matter. All right. So let me even ask us here. How many of us here did our parents sit us down to tell us about our body? Some of us might be lucky. I was not that lucky. For some of us, you might be lucky that you had parents that were really intentional to sit you down and train you and teach you and equip you with body safety teachings, body safety education, sex education, preparing you for life ahead. Not all of us had that luxury, right? So if you're not having real conversations with your children, you are missing out. There is something called the law of first mention. The law of first mention states that anyone that mentions something first to you, you always go back to them for more information. So if you are still saying, my teenager, she's just 14, she's just 10, it's still too early. I mean, sex education is such an important part of parenting. It is a solid and valid conversation to have with your teenager, with your children. Because the moment you are waiting, the moment you are saying they are too young, somebody's already schooling them. That's how molestation happens. That's how abuse happens. That's how rape happens, because they are being groomed by someone outside. And because you didn't tell them first, when they have subsequent questions, when someone tells them, if you don't disvirgin yourself, you will keep having menstrual cramps. If you don't do this one will keep happening. You don't tell them those things. You don't tell them what the truth is. Someone will tell them. And when they need an upgrade of information, they'll go back to that person. That's how they get misled. That's how they get, they get wrong information, wrong teaching, wrong training. Who is this person, for crying out loud? Please stop. Okay. Admin, please help me. Yeah. Okay, please. So please just keep your hand to yourself. Don't write on my board. Just pay attention to the class. Thank you. So if you're struggling to have those conversations, you're not helping. Now, let me tell you one of the secrets of connecting with your children, with your teenager. Of course, it starts as a child, because psychologically, children build connection between the ages of 0 to 2. Between ages of 0 to 2, they build connection. Recently, a Nollywood star came up to say that she's currently struggling with what's that now? The trauma that she had as a child, that her mom left her at 2, and up till date, she's not able to resolve why her mom left her. She's such an adult, big, wealthy, influential, but there is a gap, there is a wound, a parenting wound that was inflicted on her as a 2-year-old. Until today, she has not recovered. So the question I want you to answer is, how many parenting wounds, how many mommy wounds, daddy wounds are you inflicting on your children now? Unknowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously? The thing is that whether you did it consciously or not, the effect is still the same. The effect is the same. So we have to begin to talk. Real conversations. Have you been able to have sex conversation with your child? Are you able to have friendship conversation? Talk to them about friendship, about life, about purpose, about relationship. Are you able to have those conversations with them? Yes, I know the conversations are hard. They are not even easy. I can't lie to you, right? They are hard to have. They are awkward. Sometimes you don't even know where to start from. You don't know, what do I say first? Well, how much is too much? What should I say? Okay, they are still 5. What should I mention and not mention? They are now 10. What should I say and not say? Yeah, those things are valid. The concerns are valid, but it doesn't. Jovitana, is that Jovitana? Please stop. You're still writing on my board. Okay. So you're asking yourself, how do I get to stop? Okay, so I'm now distracted by this. This is not good. So you're asking yourself, well, how much is too much? What should I say and what should I not say? You want to be able to come to that point where in your parenting, I'm ticking off the boxes. I'm ticking off the boxes as I'm moving. And that is so key, so important, especially if you're raising a teenager. I tell you this thing because I've worked with teenagers for 13 years plus, and I know what I'm saying. I've seen all shades of teenagers that are product of terrible parenting. I know we're doing our best. I know we're trying, but it's a cause for us to wake up. This is actually a wake-up call. This webinar is for parents who want to rebuild connection and trust. You want to rebuild connection and trust with your teenager. You feel like, this my teenager, she doesn't trust me. When I tell her to do things, she looks at me like, can I really trust mommy? Can I really trust daddy? So you feel like they don't trust you. You feel like you want to reconnect with them. That's your once upon a time toddler that is all clingy, all loving, and all of that. Right now, you want to hug them and they're like, mommy, wait. Mommy, I beg. Mommy, please, please, please. So you want to rebuild that connection. That's what we're going to learn today. If you're tired of walking on eggshell around your teenager, this is the day to learn how to make it start working. And finally, if you want to raise emotionally healthy teenagers in a harsh world, we live in such a world where teenagers, they need more of support. They need emotional stability. Recently, I'm sure we heard the news of a teenager that failed JAMB and she committed suicide. That's lack of resilience. I'm not judging the dead, but you see, if she had learned how to manage her emotions, if she had learned emotional intelligence, if she has learned how to manage, circumstances, to learn, manage life crisis, they don't need to get to 80, 50, 60 to learn it. They actually need to learn it as teenagers, and you start teaching them using some small home experiences that is happening in your home, teachable moments in your home, to teach them that failure is part of life. How can a teenager fail, jam, and commit suicide? A parent raised her. That same jam, there must have been another teenager that failed much more than she did, and she is alive. How have we lost that potential simply because she was not emotionally stable? So my question to you is your teenager emotionally stable to handle the world? I was asking a parent last week, Sunday, I asked her, is your teenager, when your teenager gets into school, are you sure? Can you say for a fact that they can survive in the high seat of university? Whether it's in Nigeria here or they're going to study abroad. You are here because you don't want your child to get wrongly exposed. You want them to uphold the values you are working hard to teach them. There are values you're teaching them. You're teaching them discipline. You're teaching them honesty. You're teaching them, all kinds of things for them to stand out. But you want to be sure that this thing I'm teaching them, hey, it's not tomorrow now they will go and somebody will blow trumpets for them and they'll start following the person. This webinar is for parents that wonder where their teenagers picked up bad habits from, bad characters from. A parent said to me, my teenager is just, she doesn't listen. This is the child that she used to be so good, so wonderful, but I don't know what happened. Then if that is you want to listen more. What are you going to learn in this webinar? In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you the 7 common reasons teenagers avoid conversations with their parents. Yes, I'm going to tell you because I've been with them a couple of years and they told me all shit. And I've been a teenager one time myself, right? So what are those common reasons why they are avoiding conversations with you? Number 2, the 3 parenting habits that make things worse, even if you love your kids. I mean, the best of us can make mistakes. We're going to learn those things and start correcting them from today. And we're going to see how to begin to reconnect with our teenagers without yelling, without begging, without forcing them. Now, my promise to you is that by the end of this webinar, you'll be able to learn how to open, a door that your teenager actually wants to walk through. All right, so let me introduce myself because I know quite a number of us may not know me. My name is Precious Flourish Ifeanyi-Chukwu, and I am the Global Teens Coach. Why am I the Global Teens Coach? Because I've worked with teenagers from, different countries beyond Nigeria. You mentioned them, Canada, Namibia, Ghana, and the rest. I've worked with churches, I've worked with schools to train their PTA mates, to talk to their PTA in their PTA meetings, to talk to their parents, and worked with organizations as well, organizations that are focused on teenage matters. I've spoken on platforms like Netflix, TEDx, and the rest. I have a show called the P&T Show. It's a weekly show that's, is focused on helping parents connect better with their teenagers. The bottom line of the show is to celebrate parenting and inspire teenagers. So we bring in parents to share their parenting journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, so other parents can also learn, listen to them and learn from them. And we also bring teenagers, we talk with them, get them to share their journey, what being a teenager has been like. And I mean, it's a show that you really want to watch. So you can go on YouTube, search P&T Show after now, you would see that. I'm also the founder of School of Teen Mentors and Coaches. It is a citadel of learning for people who are passionate about working with teenagers. We've trained right now over 200 teen mentors from across the world, not just in Nigeria, but beyond. So it's an online school that we run periodically, because the next cohort will be starting this month. And we're going to also be onboarding, parents who are passionate, who want to learn, teen mentors, teen coaches, teachers, secondary school teachers, and people that work with teenagers in any capacity. Let's move. Now, let me tell you a bit about my story. And I was that child who was sexually abused at the age of 5 and 7. It wasn't an easy experience for me because the experience left me in peace, in bits. It left me shattered and battered for over 25 years. Unfortunately, my father never knew that I was sexually abused until he died. Sad. My mom was only opportuned to know because, I mean, life happened, and then I was able to get the healing I needed, the closure I needed, and I was able to talk to her when I felt I was ready to handle that with her. So why am I telling this story? I was that child that was loved. I was loved, but it didn't save me from the experience. We love our children. We want to protect them. We want to guide them. We want to give them the best of life, of which that's the reason why we work so hard. Some of us, we do more than 2 jobs, we do many contracts, we do side hustles to put food on their table and to give them the best of life. However, that's not enough. So that's actually why this webinar is here, to reawaken your desire, to reawaken you, to help you assess your parenting. I've had teenagers say to me, oh, Auntie Precious, I've had sex over and over, but my parents are not aware. Of course, you can be sure. It's in their numbers, or I've been abused, or this and that is happening. I have a case currently on my table of a child, of a teenager that is being molested, that the uncle is trying to molest her, all right? But she doesn't know who to talk to. Now, the reason is that, not that you are not there as the parents, but you've not opened up the conversation table. That's why I say, you don't talk to your teenager, you talk with your teenager. Your conversation, your communication with your teenager should be a two-way thing. It should be a talking with, not talking to. So you don't come in and just dish instruction and go. No, connect. I used to be that teenager that was very timid, very fearful, of course, because of my experience. My parents did not know. And this is the condition of some of your teenagers. You might be saying, oh, my teenager is still a virgin, but what you don't know is that a lot has happened. I don't pray anybody here is having that experience, because it's not even an easy one. I know how much it dealt with me. And that's why today I help parents understand and connect with their teenagers. Now let's get into this conversation. 7 reasons your teenagers is avoiding conversation with you and how to fix it before it is too late. Number 1 reason, you don't listen. Mommy, do you listen? Now, listening is not just about be talking, I'm hearing you, and you are busy pressing the phone, replying a client, replying somebody, or you are in a Zoom meeting and you're saying, be talking now, I'm hearing, what did you say that happened? And your eyes on the phone, or your eyes on the screen, or you are reading, or you are doing something. I know there are times when we want to multitask, but I want you to learn from now that you need to actually be intentional about paying attention to your children, because the moment they start feeling you're not listening to them, they will tune off. And you don't want that to happen. Every time they try to open up to you, you hijack the conversation with advice, judgment, or scriptures. What they needed was your ears, not your sermon. So if you're always in that habit of not listening, instead preaching, when you should be listening, you will lose them. I promise. Reason number 2, you explode so easily, so they retreat silently. Because your explosion is not helping matters. They've learned that honesty triggers you. So when they tell you the truth, you're triggered. When they tell you the truth, the hell gets loose. So instead of being yelled at, they just choose to be silent, or they choose to lie to you, since it is what gets them the freedom they need. You want to teach your children that that truth is rewarding. Now, that doesn't mean that when they say the truth every day, you let them go scot-free, you don't punish them, or you don't apply the disciplinary measure, but you want to be able to position yourself as someone that rewards truth while encouraging them to do what is right. So for instance, if they've done something and they tell you, oh, Mama, I did it, and it was the first time, you can correct them. If they do it again, you're going to say something like, you did this the first time and we've talked about this. When it happens again, what are we going to do? They can tell you, okay, Mommy, when it happens again, do this to me or do that to me. Let it be an agreement, a mutual agreement, right? So you don't get to lose your cool. Number 3. Okay, so before we get into number 3, I'm going to be giving you, at the end of this webinar, I'll give you a free ebook, a free guide, not really a book, but a guide. That guide is titled 10 things to stop doing if you want your teenager to open up to you. I'm going to give you that. So stay with me and I'll give it to you at the end of this webinar. Number 3 is you make everything about you. You make everything about you. So when they share their struggles, you turn it into how you feel. You turn it into a session for yourself to talk about, how much sacrifices you're making for them and all. Is your sacrifices bad? No, it's not. But you want to be able to listen to them, be empathetic enough. Empathy is one major critical quality every parent must have. Because quite frankly, sometimes we actually behave like we've never been teenagers. We actually behave like we've forgotten how much pressure, we had to deal with as teenagers. And think of the fact that teenagers today are dealing with so much more. You see, the world you grew up in is not the same world they are growing up in. You grew up in the world of probably telecom. You grew up in a world where phone was not as accessible as it is. You grew up in a world where for you to access the internet, you needed to go to a cyber cafe, sit down, and buy 5 minutes time or 10 minutes time and make your research. So you don't even know, you have to be even careful because you cannot use your 10 minutes that you bought for maybe 70 naira or 100 naira to watch rubbish. So you are keen. But today, at the flip of their fingers, they have the entire world in their room. From their toilet, they can access all social media platforms. It's such a pressure. It's such a pressure. You might say things like, when I was your age, I never behaved like that. Well, your age and theirs are not the same. Or you say things like, do you know how much you're stressing me out? Instead of validating their feeling, you center it around yourself. So you want to be able to validate whatever thing that they're feeling. You want to be able to be empathetic first before you get to, other things. Be empathetic. Understand that it's a struggle. It's not easy. Adulthood is hard. So is teenagehood. All right. I hope we're getting this. I hope we're getting the vibe of this webinar. Let me see in the comment section. Are you picking something? Are you learning something? Let me see in the comment section. Say yes, 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 I am. Yes, I am. All right, let's move on. Number 4, you dismiss their feelings. You dismiss their feelings. You call their fears silly. You call their tears manipulative. And you call their anxiety over friendship unnecessary. So they tell you things like, oh, the other of my friends did that and did that. And you just take it up. Is that serious? Is it that serious? No, it is that serious. All right. Thank you. Someone said value. Thank you, Adetola. Thank you, Wamaka. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Wamaka Ozemena. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Dear exceptional parents. Thank you so much. All right, let's move. So if you are in the habit of belittling their fears, they're going to bottle up their emotions. They're going to believe that, nothing here is for me, right? It's just for my mom. So let me just bottle my emotion. Anytime I complain, anytime I want to talk about something, she takes it up. She starts making it about herself. So let me just keep to myself. They'll bottle their emotions. Number 5, you compare them to others. Oh, this one is, I don't know, I can't say this enough. I cannot say it enough. If you're in the habit of comparing your teenagers to other persons, please stop. I beg of you, please stop. Why? Let me show you why. If you're comparing them to their siblings, if you're comparing them to their friends, if you're or to your child, is your friends' children, if you're comparing them to the church members, to their classmates, with every comparison, you crush their confidence and you kill connection. As you keep comparing them, they're going to start hating on those people. They're going to start having this ongoing battle inside. They will have unhealthy rivalry because they are seeing the other person as, the reason why they are being benchmarked. They're going to see that person as the reason why they are being measured less. So you don't want to do that, please. Number 6, you parent with control, not connection. If you are the one that is parenting with control, you must do it because I said so, because I'm your mama, because I be your papa. You are not helping. They can do it, they can listen to you because you are there, but there is no connection. They follow your instruction, but their hearts are hidden from you. So you end up raising a performer. somebody that does because my mommy said I should do it. They don't know why they are doing it. There is no in-depth reason. They don't understand why this is important. They don't understand why, why praying is important, for instance, or why saving is important. They don't understand. You just command them to go and do it because I said so. Go and fix your room because I said so. How about you teach them that when you wake up in the morning and fix your bed, it actually sets the tone for your day. That excitement of I was able to fix my bed actually can be carried over to other things. The fact that they were able to do the bed fixing, lay their bed and finish it and do it, they will carry that energy to other things. So they want to know, okay, this is actually so helpful because if I do this, I start my day with a winning mindset. You see, this sounds better than go and fix your bed, go and arrange that room. I told you before, go and arrange that room. I mean, they just in their heart, they'll be like, Mommy is always. Nobody wants to deal with a teenager like that, I can be sure. All right, number 7, you only speak when you are, can you take this off? When you are corrected, you only speak when you are corrected. If the only time they hear your voice is when they are wrong, they will start avoiding your voice altogether. So correction should come with before connection. Connection rather should come before correction, sorry. So you connect before you correct, not the other way around. If not, they'll just be rebellious, or they'll just, play along, or better still, they'll withdraw. And you don't want that. You want them connected. You want them, a part of you. You want them doing what it is that you want them to do. All right. Now, I have a bonus for you because you are still here. I'm going to give you the 8th reason. 8th reason is that you use their vulnerability against them. If you use their vulnerability against them, if they tell you something and you use it as a weapon in your next fight or in the next conversation, or what still, you share it with somebody, you are done. They're going to guard their heart. They're not going to tell you more. A teenager looked at me and said, Auntie Precious, I will never open up to my mom. I was like, she's your mother. She said, I will never. Because when I told her something, she went and told everybody about it, and everybody knew what I had done. Now, there is a way to bring in third party if you want to talk to somebody. If you want to share what your teenager did, especially if it's in the negative, there's a way to share it. And of course, that's one of the things I teach parents, because you don't want a situation where your teenager locks you out emotionally. Nobody wants to deal with that. Where you are in the same room, but you are total strangers. You just know that there's a tension in this house. You don't want to deal with that kind of a home. All right. Number 9, you are always too busy. If you are the parent that is always too busy until it's too late, you are busy with calls, you're busy with meetings, you're busy with friends. You don't have 10 minutes to spend with them. You don't have 10 minutes to talk with them. If you are not in their lives today, I was telling a set of parents over 2 weeks ago in a PTA meeting, I said, if you are not in your teenager's life today, they will be absent in your life tomorrow. If you are not intentionally planting yourself in their lives, you will be absent in their own world tomorrow. They will shut you out. Your teenager needs someone to believe in them. They need to know that you prioritize them. They need to know that you take them seriously, that you want their joy and happiness, that you are able to support them. They want that. All right, let's move. The 3 parenting habits that makes things get worse, even if you deeply love your teenager. Let's look at that. I promised us I was going to share that as well. Now, number 1 is doing everything for them, because you feel like, oh, I love my teenagers. Let me just do everything for them. Do you know how long it took me to have this one child or these 2 children? It was 10 years old before I had them. So what? If you're doing that, you're not helping them, because the moment you start doing everything for them, you are incapacitating them. You're not allowing them to flex their muscles, to learn, to fail, to make mistakes. Excuse me, mistake is a blessing. Failure is a blessing. Allow them to fail. Allow them. Allow them to try. Allow them. I know you have 5 nannies and you have a driver and you have food and you have everything, but allow them. Give them responsibility. Give them responsibility. All right? So key. Let them do things for you. Let them walk. Let them try things out. Let them, if you jump into to solve every problem, it's not love, it's control. You're controlling them. All right. So you want to be able to be flexible enough to allow them to make mistakes and to learn from it. When you shield them, you unintentionally weaken their confidence and problem-solving muscles. How many teenagers cannot cross the road? I've seen them now. And the person's like, I cannot cross it, I don't know how to cross it. How? Cannot handle conversation, cannot confront conversations, cannot do nothing because mommy does it all for me. Your love for your children should empower them and not overrule them and not disempower them. Let's move. Habit number 2, prioritizing obedience over relationship. When you prioritize obedience over relationship, when you put rules over relationship, you will raise a well-behaved stranger. They'll just do things because you said so, and that will be it. Teenagers may comply on the outside while disconnecting on the inside, and but nobody wants to deal with that. The true influence that you have comes from connection, not control. So don't prioritize obedience. Is obedience good? Yeah, don't get me wrong. They should obey. But listen, when there is a situation where they deviate from what it is that you want them to do, don't be more passionate about getting them to obey and come back to in order than getting to listen to them to even know what happened. Why did this happen? Is there a need? Is there something that they're not saying? Let's move. Habit number 3, responding too quickly without understanding. We do this a lot, right? African parents, you hear one thing and you take it off. You take it off. You start already trying to fix, correcting them, or you dismiss them. In your mind, you're helping, but you're not. If your child feels like you don't really get them, they will disconnect. If you respond too quickly, you will miss that opportunity to connect with them. All right. Sometimes what they are craving for is not really your answer. They're just looking for someone to listen to. They just want to talk. They just want to rant, right? They just want to be able to talk and feel like they've emptied their mind. Even us as adults, I mean, there are times like that when you just want to call a friend and just rant and just talk. And the friend is actually there listening to you. And afterwards, you feel good. You feel, even if they don't say anything, for the fact that you've emptied your mind. You've emptied, your mind is free. How many of our children, how many of our teenagers are actually able to come to that point where they can empty their mind? They can have conversation with you and feel not judged, but accepted. They'll feel supported. They'll feel loved. Now, let's look at the real gist, which is how to connect without yelling, without begging, or forcing respect. You want to be able to connect without yelling, without forcing, the love. You don't force love. You don't force connection. If you force it, then it's no longer connection. It's now control. All right? Now, reconnection starts with relationship. It starts with relationship. It starts with you nurturing the relationship you have with your child. I know you're busy. I know you're doing 9 to 5. I know you're a businesswoman or a businessman. I know you are doing a lot of things, but 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your day, 15 minutes of your time is enough to build that connection, is enough actually to help your teenager to just that coming into their room and sitting down on their bed and you start by appreciating or admiring something about them. Oh, you really fixed your room very well today. I love it. I love the color of that. How did you do it? How was the day? How was your friend? How are your friends? Have that connection. It may not work on day 1. It may not work on day 2, especially if there's been that gap already, but consistency will bring it to pass. Instead of yelling to be heard, instead of begging to be loved or demanding respect, focus on connection. Focus on building trust. Let them know that mommy can be trusted. Let them know that I can trust my dad. I can have conversations with him. Start building these things. Listen more to them than you speak. Also, try and have valid conversations. Try and have some sensitive conversations with them. Those conversations you're running away from, that's puberty conversation, that's sex education. I wrote a book titled Talk the Talk. The book, Talk the Talk. I wrote that book because I'm tired of teenagers coming around me. I had a teenager that was menstruating for 3 years. And her mom did not know. They lived in the same house. How? How? So I wrote that book to actually get parents to the point of taking the bull by the horn. And of course, in that book, I explained in details the conversations to have with your child from age 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 10, 6 to 10, 10, 11 to, like that as they progress. Of course, you cannot say everything in one conversation, but there's a level, there's an extent that you need to bring for time. It is in this generation that teenagers are now selling their eggs. Teenagers are going to hospital and saying, I want to sell my egg. I'm ovulating. And they'll sell their egg for how much? 60K, 150K. It is in this same generation that teenagers are doing plastic surgery. If you are not talking, someone is talking. If you are not parenting, did you know that you have co-parents? You have Uncle Internet. You have YouTube. The last teenager I worked on that was struggling with masturbation said that one of his major triggers is Twitter and Facebook. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Twitter, the same Twitter you just go to read news as a parent, your teenager goes there and they are triggered. Of course, because their algorithm has been messed up. The algorithm has been messed up. These conversations is part of sex conversation. Media, screen is part of sex conversation. Body safety is part of sex conversation. Finance, money is part of sex conversation. Was it not how many weeks ago or months ago that we heard someone went with an entourage of girls that dressed in as zombies, as in grave clothes to a party? They were raised by parents. They were raised by parents. I tell my teenagers that I'm mentoring, right? You are a ruby. You are priceless. Money is not equal to your value. Your value is unquantifiable. And that's what the point you need to bring your teenagers. You need to bring them to the point where they know that, come on, even if my parents don't have it all, I am a person of value. My future goes better. And I'm working towards that future. Nothing distracts me. We don't raise teenagers that are saying, they pressured me, they made me do, they made me say. Oh, we are raising the kind of teenagers that will stand up the test of time. Teenagers that will set the pace, that will call the shots, that will be the role models. What are you talking about? We are raising the kind of teenagers, that understand their self-identity. They are not confused about who they are. They are not a girl saying, I think I'm a boy. They're not a boy saying, I think I'm a girl. Look at the confusion out there. God created two genders, male and female, but human beings sat down and produced over 100 different pronouns, over 100 different genders. We, she, we, he. You mentioned them. I mean, that's not what this class is about, but I'm telling you that your teenagers are constantly interacting with this thing. I spoke with a teenager recently and she told me, I have a feeling for girls. I don't have anything for boys. I said, how did you know that? We started talking, and then it turned out that she was meant to believe that. Someone, brainwashed her to believe that she is a girl, but she has feelings for only girls. And I asked her, have you ever told your parents this? And she said no. So when I'm talking to parents like this, I've seen things. And sometimes I finish sessions with my teenagers and I'm bleeding in my heart. I'm asking myself, where are their parents? Where are they? They're in their offices, they're in the marketplace, they are busy raising strangers in their home. Your teenager will go to school a girl and come back as a boy. They will go to school a boy and come back a girl. They go to school as Christians, they will come back asking you, is that really God? Is that really God, Mommy? Are you sure? That's the kind of world we are in. That's the kind of struggles that teenagers are having. And you cannot play blind to this thing. You cannot, parenting today is a battlefield. I'm not saying the battlefield that you use, mama. Praying is good. I pray, I'm a Christian, all right? But parenting is a battlefield and you come into that battle with the weapon of knowledge. And that's why we are here. What are you doing? What are you doing? How are you sure that you're not going to raise the next teenager that will need therapy tomorrow? How are you sure that you're not raising the next teenager that will go to sell her eggs? How are you sure that you're not raising the next teenager? Go to the streets of Lagos. You see children, teenagers standing on the streets selling their body for 50K a night. Oh my goodness. And God gave parents these teenagers. You think all of them are adults? Go and do a sample. 50% of them are teenagers. Of course, teenagers in the daytime, adults in the night, because they know it all. They do it better. And you are still saying, like, I don't want to talk to my children about sex education. I can't talk to them. You're joking, you need to wake up. Because the world you grew up in, where sex was hidden, is gone. That world has been folded and been removed. We are in a new world where sex is on the streets. Have you seen the level of bralessness on the streets? I was in a mall today and I was just telling myself, Jesus Christ, where can I put my eye? Where do I look at? You see girls, braless. I'm yet to recover from that culture shock till tomorrow, because each time I tell them, like, is it that you forgot that you should wear bra, or that you don't have bra again? What exactly is your problem? Like, how do we help you? And you are raising those teenagers. That parent that saw her child on TikTok dancing with a braless top, with breast bead, with her stomach showing, is a pastor, for crying out loud. She's a pastor's wife, and you are raising your teenager in your house is doing TikTok. And of course, they are smart. They will open the TikTok with a name you cannot even find. I've seen it all. Let me not continue there. But let me just remind you that if you don't wake up to the fact that parenting is a battlefield, the enemy will win you. The enemy will bankrupt your business, your parenting, your family. He will buy it over. But that will not be the portion of any parent in this webinar today. Now, the next thing you need to do in connecting with your teenager is to share moments of joy, not just moments of connection, of correction. Yes, you correct them, but did you know, I was talking to a parent again over this week, and I told her that, do you know that correcting a teenager, so in parenting, there are two alerts. There is debit alert and credit alert in parenting. Now, what is credit alert? Credit alert is the input you make. Debit alert is the withdrawal you make. So when you caution your teenager, when you judge them, when you say you are grounded, why did you do this? Get into the room, do this, no more, you're not going to use this phone again. That's debit alert. You are debiting from them. I know they understand. I know you are doing the right thing, but it is sharp debit. When you're having fun moments, when you're having bonding time, when you're talking with them over the dinner and all of that, it is credit. So you want to do more credit than debit. There will be moments of debit too. It's normal. But even you and I know that credit alert gives more joy than debit alert. True or false? True or false? I need us to talk in the comment section. Credit alert and debit alert, which one gives more vitamin? Which one gives more joy and energy? You just get one credit alert, 3.5 million. Somebody is just saying, just keep the change. And you're like, what? You did a business deal and then you check your bank alert, 200 million has entered. How does it feel? You feel this joy, you feel this excitement that, come on, credit alert gives energy, gives vitamins. It gives joy, right? But debit alert, when you get, if somebody gets credit alert, yeah, they can even leave this Zoom session and say, I'm done, let me go and enjoy myself. But debit alert will give you headache, high blood pressure, stomach ache, running stomach, because mom, school fees, mom, this one, mom, house rent, this one, fix the car, do this. That's the same way. If you keep every time you are correcting, you are nagging, you are yelling, you are shouting, you are judging, that's what you do. You are withdrawing from your teenager's emotional tank. And the more you keep withdrawing, the more they are running on low battery. That's why when you want to now talk to them, they're like, yes, ma, I've heard. Okay. They'll stand up and go to their room because you've withdrawn everything. You've withdrawn everything. So today, begin to ask yourself, how can I make deposits? I think I'm going to prepare a session teaching us how to make deposits, intentional deposits into the lives of a teenager. So that, if you deposit 10 million naira and withdraw 10K, will it shake the bank accounts? Of course, no, it will not, because the money there will overcompensate. So if you're making enough deposits, you are loving them, you are connecting with them, you are sharing moments, creating memories in little ways. It doesn't have to cost much. It doesn't have to take all your time. There is a way. It has to start from being intentional. All right. So, and if that happens, then you're going to see that your parenting will actually change. Trust me, you are in the right place. I tell you, you are an exceptional parent raising an exceptional teenagers with me. All right. Now, the next thing you want to do is to respect them, because respect is earned. You don't force respect, you respect them. I used to tell parents, if you don't respect your teenagers, where do you want them to learn it from? They won't. All right. So you respect them. And that's how you begin to build back that connection. Now that you've known what is causing the distance between you and your teenager, and you've seen what to do better as you progress, and you've also learned how to rebuild trust and connection, how many of you are feeling a bit overwhelmed? Because we've covered so much, right? How many of you are feeling a bit overwhelmed? We've done like 50 minutes now. Yeah, I know it's like drinking so much water and you're having so much to deal with. But hey, there's one more piece that is left. There's one more piece that is left. Your teenager has to grow alongside with you. Your teenager has to grow too. Because you can only go so far if they are stuck. If they don't understand that mommy is now being intentional, mommy is now being the parent I really desire, mommy is now making efforts to make deposit into my life, make deposit into my emotional tank. Mommy is now trying all of that. They're going to feel like, I beg, what's that? So you need to also bring them to page, and that's why I want to show you how to fix that missing link. All right. You've understood it and you've listened to me and you've committed to reconnect. You've committed to be that parent in their lives. I started writing a book, Becoming the Parents They Want You to Be. All right. So you want to be that parent they want you to be. But your teenager is still carrying pressure. Your teenager is still carrying confusion. Your teenager is still carrying identity issues. They're still thinking, who am I? Where do I fit in? Why am I here? Where do I go from here? They are still carrying the emotional noise, the emotional loudness in the world, the craziness, right? They need to deal with it. They need tools to deal with all of those. And that's why I created something I want to show you. So is it okay if I spend the next 10 minutes walking you through a powerful solution that I have created to help your teenager, build confidence, build values, develop the right mindsets that they need to reconnect with you and thrive in today's world? Is it okay if I take the next 10 minutes? I know we've already, spent much time, but I'm going to run through it, maybe less than 10 minutes, really. So let me see your response. Is it okay? Can we go ahead and do that? Okay, someone is saying, okay, thank you. Can we go ahead? I want to see your response, actually. Can we go ahead? Can I do that? Okay, someone says yes, so yes, yes, yes. All right, yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Mary. I see you, sis. Thank you. All right, all right, all right. So let's move. So I have something I want to share with you. And I want to show you first. This is my mentee, Peculiar. Peculiar is a teenager I mentored, and I'm still mentoring. And it's been a beautiful journey. Of course, I've worked with quite a number of parents and teenagers, over 5,000 of them. And there are changed lives. I mean, there are testimonies. If you are following me on Instagram, you will see a video actually of this boy talking about his experience with my mentorship program. The same with this boy. His name is Andras. He's currently now in Ebonyi State University studying and doing so well. He was that boy that came in with a lot of potential, but needed someone to guide him, needed someone to point him to the right direction. One of the things I did with this boy was to drill him on study habits. He was so promising, but he was easily distracted, and that's one of the things I did in mentoring him. And there are so many of them. Now, what is that thing I have for you? I put together something I want to use to help your teenagers, right? I'm not a parent coach. I can train you, I can help you, I can guide you based on the experience I've had working with teenagers, of course, for the past 13 years plus. So, but I mentor teenagers. I mentor them, and that's why I have this for you. I have an offer I want to make you, and that offer, one of it is a clarity session that your teenager is going to get from me, the Global Teens Coach, and it is valued at 70,000 naira. I'm going to have a call with them, get to interact, know exactly what they need, where they are in their life, and what they would want to achieve with where they are, the challenges they have, and where to actually start fixing it from. Number two, they're going to get a 4-week masterclass that is worth 150,000 naira. And in that masterclass, they are going to interact with other teenagers. It's going to be a 4 weeks of intensive learning. And on the week 1 of that masterclass, they will learn how to build stronger self-identity. Come on. The reason teenagers misbehave today is because they don't know who they are. If a teenager knows, I am not for the bedroom, I am for the boardroom, they will not be walking half naked on the streets. They need someone to tell them that, and that's why I'm here. If a teenager knows, I am a global figure, I'm a global citizen, all right? They will not be walking on the streets with their nipples flying up and down. They will not be walking on the streets, looking for who to give them quick money. They will understand that they are supposed to create value, create legacy. And that's one of the things I help teenagers understand, their identity. If they know who they are, your problem as a parent is 50% solved. Because people like this do things like that. If you know who you are, there are things you will not do. Number 2, how to manage emotions and avoid mood crashes. Mood is a regular thing, right? Mood swing for teenagers and all of that. But there's a way to manage it. They need to learn how to. If not, tomorrow, that's how you hear that somebody stabbed somebody because there was a fight, there was emotional outburst and all of that. But they need to learn how to manage their emotions, how to manage, their anger. And that's what they're going to learn in that 4 weeks masterclass. Number 3, they're going to learn how to make better decisions and resist pressure. Did you know that human beings, every single day, you make at least 120 decisions? Every day. You make 120 decisions. What if, and that's including teenagers, what if you're not guided? And the decisions, of course, the decisions that you made yesterday was what brought you to where you are today. So some teenagers are currently making decisions that will ruin their future, but they're not aware. They think they are cruising, they think they are vibing, they think they are having fun, but what they don't know is that they are actually cooking up their own destruction. Number 4, they're going to learn how to use their time wisely. Who doesn't know that time management is such a big deal? Of course, time management is life management. So you need to learn how to manage your life, manage your time, manage your energy. Know when your peak time is, when you are best productive, what to do at that time and what to do later time when your energy has depleted. That's one of the things they're also going to learn. And as a bonus, because I'm a night coach, they're also going to learn how to communicate better, even with parents. They're going to learn how to connect better with you as their parents, how to feel confident without being rebellious. There's a thin line between being confident and being arrogant. They're going to learn that as well. And that is worth 150,000. They're also going to join my Vibrant Teen community that is worth 200,000 naira 1 year. They're going to have access to that Vibrant Teens community where all the teenagers I'm mentoring, are in. Again, they're going to get my ebook and workbook worth 8,000 naira at the end or as we progress in that class. Now, the value of all of these is 428,000 naira. Okay. However, if all this program did was help your teenager to become more open to you, to become more confident, to become, easier for you to talk with, easier for you to connect with, easier for you to communicate with, will it be worth 428,000 naira, or will it worth 350,000 naira to you? Will it? And if all it did was help you rebuild trust, have open conversation, have real conversations, and finally feel connected to your teenager again, would it be worth 300,000 naira? I'm asking you. And what if all it did was help your teenager to open up, to communicate better, to become more emotionally stable without you having to yell, without you going for therapy? Will it be worth 280,000 naira? Now, I had two choices. For this. One of the choice was, my option 1 was to just make this class to be very cheap and then try to enroll as many teenagers as possible. I mean, I've done that in the past where we have many teenagers in the course. But for this particular one, the truth is that would mean cutting out the tools. That's actually the tools that are supposed to help the teenagers grow. I'll have to skip a lot of things, skip the mentorship, skip the weekly reports and the personal guidance that they truly will need. And those are the things that will actually make the difference. And it will not be fair on your child if I do that. All right. So instead, I chose the second option. which obviously comes with a slighter higher investment on your part as a parent. But in exchange of that, I've packed this program with everything your teenager needs. Talk about real life tools, talk about relatable stories, talk about guided support that I'm going to be giving them, my proven strategies, and simple systems that actually help them to grow and become more focused and reconnect with you as well as the parents. Now, this way, I can actually give them my best. I'll dedicate more time, more energy, and resources. Right now, we have about close to eight parents, 8 children, 8 teenagers, I should say, that already signed up in the program. So I need a number that I can work with one-on-one. All right. Now, what if all these things are worth 428,000 naira? That's all you're going to get. You can probably see why parents invest up to 1 million naira or more for private team coaching. I've seen someone charging 5 million for team coaching just to help reset your teenager, help them to reconnect and grow emotionally. But tonight, you don't have to pay that. I promise you, because this isn't just another expense. This is actually an investment in your teenager's growth. This is an investment into their emotional maturity and the peaceful relationship that you want to have with them in the future. So you're not going to pay 428,000. You're going to get all the sessions, all the tools, all the mentorship, all the trainings, and the bonuses for just 100,000 naira. You people should be clapping for me because I've tried. So if you sign up your teenager for a regular mentorship coaching with me, you will easily pay 250K just to get access to me, to mentor them and get my reflection journals, the teen daily planner, and all the emotional toolkit and all of that. And that's without the 4 weeks training, But this time they're getting all of these and even more. So because you've invested your time already with me today, and you've shown that you truly care about reconnecting with your teenager and rebuilding a healthier relationship with them, I'm going to give you access to an exclusive webinar, only opportunity. That opportunity is for people that are here today, now. Now, let's be real. If you were to enroll your teenager in a multi-coaching sessions to help them build confidence, manage their emotions, improve their communication, and stay focused, I'm telling you, you pay close to 500,000. All right? But you won't have to pay that today because you're taking action now. All right? And I want to remove every excuse and every roadblocks. Your total investment is just 100,000 naira, and that includes everything. They're going to have access to everything. Now you have 2 choices. Your one choice is to do nothing. You can just close this webinar, go back to your house, go back to your normal routine of struggling with your teenager, not connecting, not communicating, watching your teenager get lost under your nose. And 1 week from now, nothing would have changed. You are still stuck. You're still wondering where your lovely daughter has gone to, what has happened. Or you can choose the second option, which is to take action. You can test this solution and apply this strategy. All right, let me work with your teenager. You don't need another year of trial and error. We want to raise teenagers that we can be proud of, both as a community and as families. And all you need is the willingness to start and a framework that works. And that's what I'm giving you. All right. Now, I have a guarantee for you. I know how hard it is to be able to make this kind of investment. This is Buhari tenor. So 100K is a lot, actually. All right. And that's why I'm removing every risk for you. When you sign up a teenager today, you are covered by my 30 days money back guarantee. Yes, I said that. What that means is that your teenager can, if your teenager test drive the entire program, go through this training, use the tool, and start implementing. If he or she shows up, does the work, and you still feel that there's no change or no connection, then just send me a message and I'll refund you. No hustle, no hard feelings. I'll refund you your money. That's how much I believe, in this thing I've created, in this program I've created. You literally have nothing to lose, I tell you. All right. So the real question is it worth your teenager joining this community for a few minutes to check it out? Even if what it only does is, just help them have more conversation with you, help them, get more focused, get to manage their time better. Is it worth it? Is it worth it if they get a clarity call with me worth 70,000? 4 weeks masterclass worth 150,000, Teens Vibrant Community for 1 year worth 200,000 naira, and an ebook and workbook worth 8,000 naira. Everything for 428,000 to just get it. But I'm giving it to you for tonight for 100,000 naira. I'm making this opportunity open for only 10% because our goal is to have just 20 teenagers, and we already have, like I told us, about 8 to 9 teenagers already, signed up. And after that 20 slots are gone, we are done. For tonight, we're opening that 10 slot again because we want you to get in. I want to work with your teenager. I want to partner with you in your parenting journey. Okay, so if that sounds like what you want, if you want me to mentor your teenager, if you want me, the Global Teens Coach, right, to mentor your teenager and work with them, then you want to do that now. This is the account number. You can take a screenshot. You can do the registration right now. After that, you will get an onboarding Google form where we will get all the information that we need to onboard your teenager into the group. The class will be held on Zoom every of the week. We'll send the Zoom link there. I'll have interactions with them. Of course, before the event starts, I'm going to have a one-on-one session with them and get to interact with them, know where they are and all of that. It's a beautiful experience that you want to really give your teenager. So if you want to do that, scan the QR code, take a screenshot of the transfer for 100,000 only. You can get your teenager to have all of this, the 5 weeks masterclass, the digital books I'm going to give them, the clarity call from me, access to our Teen Vibrant community, all of this for just 100,000 naira. That's because I'm such a good coach. I'm such a lovely person. You people should give me my flower in the comment section. All right. So it's Q&A session. If you have a question, you may want to ask it now. Q&A session. You want to ask me any question, let me know so that I can give you the opportunity. Okay, someone raised hand. Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Chinwe Okoye, please, ma, you can unmute yourself and talk. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for the session. This is my first time, and it was a really good one. So I'm grateful. Thank you. So I wanted to ask a question. There's something you said while we were teaching. So I said, let me wait. When you finish, I'll ask. You mentioned about comparing, that it's not good to say, okay, compare. Of course, I know it's not good, but how do you now draw the line between, you're comparing and maybe you're saying, okay, look at this person, like an example. You want to show this person as an example, somebody that maybe your child should aspire to. Can't you do that? Can't you say, okay, why not look at this person? Why not see how this person is doing it? Why not learn from this person? Because you can't always say, okay, yes, everything is perfect, everything is rosy. You have to always once in a while say, because even we as adults, we say, okay, look at this person. If you can do it, then that means I can do it. So where do you now draw the line, and say this is not you don't need to compare, because it's always very confusing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for asking that honest question. And I'm sure that you spoke the mind of a lot of parents here. And but this is how I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to actually start by asking you a question in return. So please don't go too far. So Mrs. Chinwe Okoye, have you ever been in a situation where someone compared you to someone else? Whether now or in the past or whatever. Have you ever been, just answer the question, don't over-explain, just answer yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed. That's number one.
Yes,
Number two,
in my office,
how did it make you feel? How did it make you feel when you were compared to someone? I'll still answer the question. Don't feel rough, please.
Well, sometimes I'll be like, the person is not facing what I'm facing, so you can't say this person is doing, why can't you do well? I'll be like, we don't have the same challenge. And then sometimes I'm motivated to say, that means this person did it. That means me, I can try, I can do it. So it goes two ways. It depends on how we said.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that response. Now, let me say this. I needed to ask that question so that even the rest of us can also, reflect on it. So there's nothing wrong with trying to encourage or inspire our teenagers to take action, to do better, to do more. Now, it is in the communication. If you compare someone to another person, first of all, you've committed the error of not taking cognizance of the fact that they are two different human beings and they have probably two different realities. Even if you feel like they have the same reality anyway, there is a difference because we are not the same. We are two, we are different. We are our makeup, even twins have different personalities, right? That's number one. Number two is, in place of comparing them, how about comparing them to themselves? How about comparing them to themselves? The thing is that comparison, right? It does not help. So there is the point of saying, did you see how your friend performed today? Why can't you perform like her? She's your friend, she's in the same class. Why can't you perform like her? They teach you in the same class and you learn the same thing. You see how she was speaking very confidently. Try and be talking very confidently like her now. You're comparing. Now, that is different from, I see the presentation that was done today. I saw you present. I also saw your friends present. How did you feel about it? Fine. I mean, I tried my best. Yeah, I know you tried your best, but when I look at you, I see more potential. I actually see that you can do better than this. This is good. This is a good start, but you can improve. So what can we do to improve next time? Okay, I'll have to practice more. What else? I'll have to start on time to prepare. Okay, let them talk. You're happy now. You're not causing the comparison, causes self-confidence. Especially for young people. For adults, you can be more proactive as an adult and say, okay, it means I should learn more from this person because you're an adult. Teenagers are teenagers and their brains are not fully developed. So that's why they can do some things that you're wondering, is their brain working? Their brain is not fully working, actually. So they can do some things that you look at and you think this is a mess, right? So that is it. You want to be able to help them. You want to be able to, not make it difficult for them to, because their identity is still forming. By the time you keep comparing them, they'll start thinking, I'm not good enough. Their self-confidence will start nosediving. So instead of comparing them to someone, how about comparing them to themselves? Tell them that things like, you are loaded. This girl, you're so loaded. You have a lot of potential. I need you to sit down and think about, I see enormous ability that you have. I know you say you're tired, you just washed the sink and then you say you're tired, you did the dishes and you say you're tired. I know, but do you know that the way you are now, you can go 10 more hours working? You have that capacity. There might be you don't know. So let's try it. Or yeah, let's do another 30 minutes. Let's see how it goes. You're pushing them, you're trying, you're encouraging them, you're challenging them to improve based on the capacity you are seeing in them. Bible concerning Jochebed, who is the mother of Moses, Bible said that when Jochebed gave birth to Moses, she saw that he was a proper child. He saw something that even Moses was too young to see. So see something about them, even though they're not performing at that apex level. Speak to them, encourage them, challenge them with themselves. Now, where does bringing other people come in? I know somebody might be thinking, where does that come in? It can come in, yes, where you ask them, okay, who is your model? Who do you want to perform like? Who do you want to do, be model in this thing? Maybe in public speaking, or in doing house chores, or in whatever. So you can say, okay, you want to be like this person. Have you tried to study their principles, how they do what they do, how they're able to stay motivated, stay focused, and all of that. So that will also help. Most importantly, get them a mentor. A mentor can be an extra voice, re-emphasizing, re-echoing the things you are saying. I've had a parent say to me, "Auntie Precious, I've been saying this thing before, but the moment you said it, she now heard it. She now said, this is that thing Auntie Precious, my mommy used to say." Not because the one the mother was saying is not good or it's not working, but the moment you bring in an extra voice, it amplifies it. All right. There will be moments like that. So instead of comparing them to their friends, to your friends' children, to their classmates, please don't do that. You are breeding unhealthy rivalry because they're going to see the person as the problem, whereas the person is not. Don't do it, please. It will cause sibling rivalry. Have you not noticed that the more you keep doing that, there will be sibling rivalry because you are the reason mommy now caught me, talked down on me or something like that. You don't want to do that. Okay. I hope I answered that question. Let's take another question if you have any. Let me check my comment section. Okay, I see responses. I see comments in the comment section, but there's no question there. Okay. All right. I want to believe that we've been able to tackle what it is that we have today. And I want to believe that you've been able to make a decision of the kind of parents you want to be, that you don't want to be the kind of parent that is careless, that is uninvolved, that is absent in your child's life. Remember, if you're absent in their lives today, you'll be absent in their memories tomorrow. So you want to be able to leave your imprint in their lives, in their head, in their mind, connect, make more deposits than your withdrawal. All right. Remember that this offer is still open. If you want to sign up your teenager for this mentorship program, we are actually starting this month. In fact, when I say this month, it looks like it's still far. By Saturday, we are starting our first session. So if you want to sign up your teenager, now is the time to do that. You want me to partner with you. So the thing with mentors and coaches is that we are not here to threaten your parenting. No. We're not here to take your place. No. I have enough to deal with, right? We are here to partner with you. We're here to parent, to support your parenting journey, because it takes a village to raise a child, right? So you need partners, you need community, you need hands, especially raising teenagers in 2025. Come on, it's drama, and sometimes you need help, you need support for all of that. So parents, we are here. I'm here to partner with you to make the parenting easier, to be that extra influence that your teenager actually needs in their life. Because trust me, if they don't get it from you, if you don't be the one to intentionally craft that influence for them, they will find another influencer online. How many teenagers are having Jarvis and Fela as their role model? How many teenagers are having Bobrisky as their role model? You don't know, but it's going on, it's happening. So intentionally put in their face someone that they look up to, someone that you trust their values, someone that you trust that they have your best interest at heart. They have the right value, the right background, the right training. I mean, I've been trained and certified for this, so it's not like I just burst out of the street and I'm doing this. And I've worked with teenagers for well over 13 years, so you can be sure of that. So I would invite you and encourage you to sign up your teenager for this. If you have any question, if you have any or you want to know, okay, how can I go about it? Is there something like a payment plan, or you because you really want to do this, you really want to get your teenager to sign in, to be a part of this, to join other teenagers. When they get into a community where there is positive peer pressure, that's what I create. I create a community where there is positive peer pressure. That your teenager is seeing someone else doing this, doing that, improving in this, and we are connecting, we are talking, I'm teaching them, the fire will catch them. All right. So someone is asking, and that will be the last question, what if you try everything to make them open up and they are still withdrawn? What should you do? Very valid question. Get help. That's what you should do. Get help. All right. Don't so probably you've done something. I mean, there's no smoke without fire. Probably you've withdrawn more than you have deposited and you didn't know. And it happens. I mean, sometimes we honestly are wrong. Do you understand? You can be honestly wrong. You can be innocently wrong. But that doesn't mean that you are no longer wrong because you are innocently wrong. If you fall off the cliff mistakenly, the fact that you did it by mistake, you fell off from a 3-story building, the law of what do you call that? Law of that's not aerodynamics. There's another law. It will still bring you down. The law of gravity will push you down and you'll smash your head. Even though you was a mistake, you didn't mean to fall off. All right. So that's the thing. There are some things you might be doing or you might have done in the past that is causing that's withdrawal, that is making them withdraw. Or there's something that has happened to them that they are dealing with. I mean, I was there for over 25 years. I struggled. I dealt with a pain. And that's why today, one of my best mantra is open wound heals faster. Because the moment I began to open up that wound, my healing began, my miracle began. So I can help you. If you want to have a session with me, you can get to talk to me and get to book a session so we can talk about it. I can get involved and see how we can remedy things. Of course, you can be sure that I have my way to do that. I've been trained for this. All right. So that's my response for that. I think that's all the questions that we have for today. I'm so glad and excited, dear exceptional parent. If you are an exceptional parent, I want you to type in the comment, yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. That's how we're going to call it a day today. If you are an exceptional parent and you know, and you are sure that you are going to raise an exceptional teenagers that will stand out, teenagers that will be the roadmap for others, teenagers that will bring the influence on the table, not teenagers that will be suffering from peer pressure. No, the ones that will bring the pressure, positive peer pressure. If you know that you are that type of teenager, that type of parent, let me see your comment in the comment section. Say, yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. Okay, I see you, Damila Deola. Okay, I hope I got that name correctly. I'm so sorry if I murdered the name, but thank you, ma. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mrs. Tessie. You've been so involved and so active in this class. I commend you, ma. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kike Lomo. Thank you so much. I appreciate every parent, that came out today again for our webinar. Thank you, Mrs. Chiwe Okoye, for asking your question. I hope that you got the answer. Thank you so much for contributing. Thank you so much, everybody. I look forward to working with your teenagers. I look forward to mentoring your teenagers, to partnering with you in raising the exceptional teenagers of your dream. Remember, our community, our parents' community is that community where we provide you help, support, materials, resources, just like I'm going to do after this class. I'm going to be sending you a material that you can download, a short, guide that you can download and consume like in less than 2 minutes. It's actually that simple, but it helps you to begin to see, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. This is what I need to do better. All right. Like I said, I'm not a parent coach. I'm your parenting partner. So I partner with you in mentoring your teenagers. I hope that's clear. All right. And I do that through these programs that we're organizing for teenagers. Over the past 13 years, I've worked with countless parents, and I'm so glad, it's an honor actually that you are letting me into your life by being a part of our community. So keep staying connected, keep being a part of this. We are going to raise that set of teenagers that we will be proud of as a family and as a society. And with that said, I bring this webinar tonight to an official end. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of me. Search out my name on Instagram. If you're not following me, the Global Teens Coach, you want to follow me because I bring content that will help you, even if you're not signing up now, that you can keep listening to, and it will keep driving you in your parenting journey and on and on. Someone said, best coach ever. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Adetola. Thank you, everybody. I love you. I love you. I'm here with you. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Wamaka Ozemena. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to let you go so that you can go back and take care of your teenagers for me. All right. So you can feel free to exit now. Love you too. Love you right back.